Healing support. I remember, I think about 8 months ago, 6, 8 months ago, there was this post on Reddit. I'm sure it's still there about someone, postulated this whole thing based off of Decker Kane, how he could be a hero in the game and work and everything like that. And what would be really cool is if Decker, and again, I'm just shooting with you here, is if if Deckard Cain, obviously he's kind of like a feeble old man, but he still is like strong. Imagine like an Abathur based support where he isn't a presence in the team fights as an actual body, but he's able to help in the team fights through like having a global presence and whatnot. I think that would be so very cool.
Just a completely different version of Abathur, maybe.
Yes, exactly. The idea is that being like utility damage and shield and pushing, it's healing and vision and stuff like that.
Definitely. And to get back into the draft here, I love talking about Decker Kane and Theory Crafting Man, but Zeratul, a respect man. Zeratul is out of the game. Like, he is, again, one of those super powerful, super powerful guys right now. Like, that Void Prison, as you guys saw, turned every single team fight into the favor of Bell and the Beast. So, and then we see another pickup, another band of Sylvanas. Again, one of those typical bands you see these days. Her potential in team fights is just so brutal. You have the Wailing Arrow, and then you have her lockdown for any forts or towers around you.
So Goon Squad, look what they're doing there. They're getting their hands on their support right away. They do not want to be put in that same situation they were just in the last match. Immediately scooping up the Uther. I know Bella and the Beast have free reign over, again, like I said, the drafts as of recent have really been dictated by the melee assassins. Your Zeratul, your Illidan, your Kerrigan. So if they want to go with an Illidan draft here, they definitely have the potential. They could maybe go with like a early Illidan Rhaegar pickup, Tacit or something along those lines. Though I think, it's really up to them what they want to go with. They go with a Kael'thas. I was just about to say Kael'thas isn't banned out, so we're expecting to see that picked up. And are they going to go with the Wizard duo?
Dude, that combination, Kael'thas, Jaina, is freaking terrifying. But Lost Vikings on Dragonshire, man. Like, this is going to be really, really great to see and see what they pull off. I mean, you have to keep in mind, for those of you who haven't really played Heroes too much, and if you haven't seen Lost Vikings play at all, they're 3 individual units. So at that point, you can be in 3 different lanes soaking at any one point. You can have 2 of them soaking, and then, or 2 grabbing the dragon shrines, go in there, and one of them goes into the dragon, and you're already at a huge advantage because you didn't really lose out on a full hero just for the Dragon Knight. But that being said, we do see Jaina picked up and Kerrigan being picked up, so it looks like they're going to go for an hyper-aggressive type of play here for Goon Squad.
I like that, though, because the Kerrigan, the way she works is she's an early game threat. She's pretty much the queen of hyper early game aggression and roaming. Though she starts to fall off a little bit, and the main reason she falls off is not necessarily because of her damage. Her damage is still pretty decent. She's still able to get into these team fights and initiate really, really well. But with the help of Divine Shield Uther, he kind of negates that factor, that kind of falling off that she has in the mid game around level 13 and level 16, because now she has Divine Shield backed up, and she can just recklessly go into these team fights and just go, I'm going ham, here I go, get a big 2-3 Primal Grasp into Impaling Blades. And I really like the Uther Kerrigan combination because they complement each other so well. And you have that backed up with a Jaina. That is a lot of initiation that Goon Squad has in their hands.
And we do set that respect ban of the Tyrande. Tiger JK, like I was saying earlier, he's always on point with those lunar flares. Now, Kerrigan Tyrande is a scary freaking combo. I mean, you go in with the Kerrigan sweep, the impaling blades and everything, and then you stun with Tyrande. Man, it's freaking brutal. But then we see a Tassadar ban for Goon Squad as well. They don't want the Protoss in this match at all.
Yeah. They say nay to the Protoss, and they're going to pick up a Colossus here, maybe. No, dude, can you imagine a Colossus hero? No more hero theory crafting. We're sticking to the draft. And Nubrak hero pickup, excellent. I love this. I love it. This is what I was talking about, man. That double bruiser duo where you have 2 warriors who are like your Nubrak and your Tyrael, and now they can just go into that back line and just completely blow up the Jaina. That Kerrigan now, she won't be quite as effective. Once that Divine Shield is up, they can turn on her very, very easily. So Bella and the Beast, they have a really dive-heavy composition, though Tyrael and Ubrak complement so very well. And they need to get their healing support here. As far as what's on the table, I think we're more than likely from Bella and the Beast, more than likely we're going to see a Malfurion pickup.
I could see Malfurion. Or maybe overall, I think Malfurion would probably be better.
Yeah.
Just for Bella and the Beast. I mean, you have to be really careful about Rhaegar because you have a squishy target. Well, the Vikings can't really be targeted by him at all. Like, it's... You're not going to waste ancestral healing on a Viking. That's just dumb. But Kael'thas can be taken out pretty quick. Would you heal a lost Viking?
I would.
You would? Okay.
I would, especially Eric.
YOLO.
Exactly. Goon Squad picking up Zagara. The thing about Shire is on this lane, good lord, on this battleground, lane presence is more important than any other battleground, simply because of the way that the flow of this map is, the mechanic behind it, and everything like that. You have the two stationary points of contention in the shrines in the north and the south. And as long as if you can have good lane presence in the early game, that could really help you out getting to early game Dragon Knight, which isn't really pivotal, but it can really help out in getting early game towers. And Zagara fits that to a T. She has unmatched lane presence. She pushes really well. And this is a threatening early game that Goon Squad has, in both that they have great laners with the Zagara and the Jaina, and they have great roaming initiation with the Kerrigan.
Definitely. I mean, at this point, they pick up Joanna.
Okay.
Joanna,
I like that.
Again.
I like that a lot.
Definitely. I mean, you have to think the survivability Joanna is going to fit really well with this team. Having her on the front line, zoning out that Tyrael and then a Nubrak. I mean, they don't want to initiate, because if the Vikings go in, they're just going to get a race unless they have that longbow raid, which is typically when they're going to try to initiate anything. But Kael'thas is not going to want to get anywhere near Joanna. Yeah. But at the point they hit 16 and they get that the extended range on Flame Strike, it's going to be really difficult for Goon Squad to be able to do anything. Really. I mean, again, we're seeing Bella and the Beast, that their drafting right now has been on point.
And there's that Malfurion, as predicted. I think that's pretty much the go-to healer support, as both you and I thought. And as you mentioned, man, Johanna's really good at helping deal with, heavy frontline initiation melee heroes. So I think that was the premier pick that they needed to get, and now they know it. And overall, I actually favor Goon Squad in the early game. I favor Goon Squad's draft significantly. The roamy, I mean, anytime you have Lost Vikings, yeah, you can do the shenanigans where you can put 4 people in the lane and whatnot. But with that Kerrigan, she can really punish the Lost Vikings pickup. One of the ways you can deal with Lost Vikings is, kind of fighting fire with fire, where you go heavy aggression into one of the lanes, and that can really pay off dividends if it's executed well and you draft accordingly. And I think Goon Squad has the draft to pull that off.
Really do. I mean, you like before, they have a really great aggressive composition at the beginning of the game. But the question is, once they hit that level 10, and once they get the Lost Viking longbow raid and all of that good stuff, are they going to be able to take on Bella the Beast in a head-to-head fight? I mean, they don't have the Void Prison this time, which was really key in the last game, but they do have the second health bar for the Vikings. They do have a lot of disruption from the Malfurion and the Anubarak. I mean, we could see a Twilight Dream, but I highly doubt it, because they do need that sustain. But there's always that potential to just throw us for a loop and be like, hey guys, we're going silence this game. What of it?
The Master Skin, Lost Viking skin, is so beautiful. It's a thing to behold. We're going to see it here in a little bit. We have a little bit of a downtime, as I believe one of the members has to use the facilities. But as soon as they are back from their refreshment break, we'll get into the match. And don't forget, this is a best of 3, with Bella and the Beast being up 1. Last game was a really awkward draft phase that Bella did intentionally, and they came out ahead. And once these guys ready up, man, we're going to get into the second game on Dragonshire, and I feel like what's the most pivotal thing that Goon Squad can do for themselves, and the early game as a whole, the first 5 to 8 minutes of this match, is going to be entirely on that Kerrigan's shoulders.
It really is. The rotation between... I really don't know who they're going to have roaming with Kerrigan. I think it might be Uther, but it could be Joanna at the same time. She does have that control. Like, she has a slow and she has a vortex ability, which will suck you in, make it so you have to run a little bit further, but at that point, it's what ifs. It's Dragonshire. Yeah. You have a lot of gank potential in both top and bottom and mid lane. So again, it's going to be really important to see what happens later on as opposed to early, because it's just going to depend on what ganks they can get off early for Goon Squad, and how they can pull off the fights in the late game against Bella and the Beast, because they're going to have a lot of initiation and a lot of sustain.
So we're going to see how these guys configure the lanes. As far as what we're going to see, who's going to go in what lane, I think Tyrael is actually a great solo laner. Nubrak is a great solo laner as well. The early game from Bella isn't the most maneuverable, though. I mean, we might see the good old Lost Viking where you double soak with the Lost Vikings in 2 lanes, and then you throw everyone else in the bottom lane. Though again, I feel like that might not be the smartest, just because it can be so easily punished with the draft that Goon Squad has. So Bella and the Beast definitely has some decisions to make as far as how are they going to configure these lanes. The bottom lane always has a lot of emphasis because, once again, as I said before, the mercenaries dictate the lane configuration in the first part of the match. And that's why we always see so much emphasis in that bottom lane. So we're going to see them probably putting Malfurion as well as a Kael'thas in the bottom lane. But I'm really, really concerned that they're going to do that double soak of Lost Vikings and get punished really, really hard for it.
Definitely. I mean, you got to be really, like you said, Kerrigan, man. Like, Kerrigan is a supreme counter to the Lost Vikings. Makes it really difficult to counteract them. But that being said, we're going to hop into game number 2 of Goon Squad versus Bella and the Beast. Bella and the Beast is up 1-0 against Goon Squad. That is such a mouthful, man.
It is.
But with that being said, we're going to head on into this game. We've already talked about what we expect to see. I really love this map. It's one of my favorites.
Yes.
It's always been one of my favorites. Haunted Mines was when I first started playing, but then I realized how much it really wasn't.
Especially the old iterations of Haunted Mines.
Oh, yeah, that snowball, man. Woo! Those 5-minute games.
Literally 5-minute games. We are loaded into the map, ladies and gentlemen. This is game 2 between Goon Squad and Bella and the Beast, with Bella and the Beast having the one up on them right now. On the left side of your map, we're going to have Boss Floss playing Johanna, Tiger JK on the Jaina, Goku playing Kerrigan, Get Up playing Uther, and Hosty on the Zagara. And that is going to round up the team known as Goon Squad.
Alrighty, and then over here in the right side, in the red trunks, we're going to have Bella Morte on those Lost Vikings, Araragi on that Kael'thas, Base Drop on that Tyrael, Dredge on the Anub'arak, and Berserk on the Malfurion. Now, that is going to make your team for Bella and the Beast, and it looks like they're actually going to just go straight for that mid, bush area, as everyone likes to do.
Yeah.
And we see Bosswas going straight for that initiation on top of Dredge, but Dredge is going to burrow out there. Base Drop going on top of Hosty. Hosty taking quite a bit of damage there, and it has to back out quite a bit. Is quite a position. Goku gets taken out by that Flame Strike from Kael'thas, and they have to back out of that fight. They're down 1-0.
Yeah, the proverbial bumping of the fists in the early game. And Bella and the Beast getting the knockout punch right there. So, okay, the Lost Vikings, all 3 are going up in the top lane, and I'm very happy about this. They realize that they can get punished too easily with that Kerrigan pickup, and they're going to go with a more standard sort of lane configuration where you kind of do a 1-1-3, and with the person in the mid kind of being a float hero. And that's exactly what's happening. They got to be careful here. Is that Kerrigan initiation? Goku actually hesitated with the Primal Grasp. There's the big stun onto 3. Malfurion took a lot of damage, but was able to keep himself alive. And now the turnaround might be there. Base Drop is going to get taken out. Anub'arak is low as well. Another beautiful Primal Grasp. Goku's Kerrigan on point thus far.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm losing my words. Holy cow, guys. I'm losing my words. Boss Floss was on point with that Condemn, sucking him in, and then Goku was able to Primal Grasp and Impaling Blades on top of that to basically do exactly what they were doing with Tyrande last game. They were locked down at least one of those people at any point during the game, at any point during the fight, and went out on that fight because they were able to lock down the opponent.
So with that small advantage, they really can carry him to an early level 4. You get Envenom on Kerrigan, and her gank potential just comes even more online. And there it is, being displayed once again in that bottom lane. Malfurion getting taken out.
Definitely, and we do see. So we're actually going to see a full beetle build by Anub'arak here. We do see Assault Scarab picked up on level 1, which you kind of sometimes see, but you usually see Regeneration Master picked up if they're lacking that healing sustain. But Dredge is feeling spry and going for those Assault Scarabs, trying to be a little bit more damage, along with the Purge Evil doing 25% more damage with Tyrael. So That being said, we're seeing a little bit more damage coming out from the Warriors here.
Both of the teams having level 4. Once again, Kerrigan was sitting there waiting patiently, biding her time, and she gets the takedown of Serial. Dredge is able to burrow charge himself out of there. And these game of inches is starting to turn into a feat right now. As Goku's Kerrigan being on point, once again, being patient in the bush. Can they get the initiation Dredge? He has burrow charge up, a good defensive gravity lapse. Is going to secure the getaway for Dredge. So good counter initiation, able to keep his teammate up. But the damage has been done. They almost already have a 1 level advantage just at the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, something you gotta be really careful about with that Kerrigan. She's just sitting there waiting in the bush. Hey guys, I'm here. You come into this bush. You're entering my territory. We're gonna wreck you. That's it. Nothing you can do to combat it.
This is my bush. Don't get near my bush, or I'm gonna kill you.
Pretty much. And we do see 2 Envenoms being picked up by Jaina and Kerrigan. So you have that double whammy, more or less. So you have a lot of damage coming in from that bottom lane with Jaina and Goku, or Tiger JK and Goku ganking on that bottom lane consistently. And one thing that you have to look out for is you can push out a lane pretty easily. And we see Goku going in on top of base drop and not able to get anything out of it. But you can push out the mid lane pretty easily. And it will work out in such a way that you can rotate bottom, push it a little bit, and come back top and not miss any experience. Tiger JK. Oh, wow.
Actually, off the mark there. Dred's got to be careful. And yeah, they almost got a dragon there. Holy cow, you called it. Though they got to be careful not to overextend here because now base drop is very, very low. The combination is there. The Hammer Dress is sealing the deal. And this might be not only a kill for Goon Squad and possibly a Dragon Knight as well. Good stun there from Dredge.
And looks like Joanna does get taken down in the bottom lane. I was too interested to see Tiger JK going for the Dragon Knight, and they're able to get it. I mean, that was kind of worth it, considering they only lost 1 hero for a maximum of 10 seconds to clench that first Dragon Knight, which can put so much pressure on that mid lane.
At this stage of the game, pushing towers and killing towers with the Dragon Knight grant more experience than that of a hero kill. So it's totally worth losing a hero for a Dragon Knight as long as you're able to secure 2 towers, maybe get another lane of towers as well. And that's exactly what they're doing. They've already gotten 1, looking to get the second one here in the mid lane. Tiger JK getting stunned up, but it's going to go down inevitably. And again, the early game momentum is keeping up. Goku's rotating up here. He's in the bush. And Bella and the Beast have to be a little bit more careful. They got to respect the Kerrigan. And Base Drop using his Eldruin's Might to scout out what's going on in that bush.
It's precisely what they need to do, too. I mean, they want to put pressure on each lane individually. They know that Tiger JK is going to rotate to that bottom lane, put some more pressure on those towers. And, I mean, at this point, the Dragon Knight's going to go down just because of time, but Goku's going to come in, get that stun off, and miss Araragi by skin of his teeth. Like, he barely survived that initiation. Jaina gets taken out by not being in the greatest of positions by Anubarak and Base Drop. So, I mean, the Dragon Knight did push a little bit. They're at a half-level disadvantage now. But that Dragon Knight did a little bit of damage in that mid lane, which is going to be pretty crucial later on in this game, as each Dragon phase is going to do that much more damage.
Level 10 on the horizon for Goon Squad here, and making a big movement over to the Siege Ogres. The Paling Blade's off the mark, and this might be a decent turnaround for Bella and the Beast. They got to be careful, though, because once those heroic talents are picked up, they can just get absolutely destroyed. They'll be at a huge advantage. Goku making a little decision there, and not initiation, but he's immediately able to turn around. Kale Thoughts get taken out. Now level 10 is here for a Goon Squad. So they got themselves a kill, trying to make it 2. And very well played by them. Now they have the heroic talents that can roam across the map, get themselves some mercenary camp, push some lanes in. And as expected, with the Kerrigan pickup, they are in a great position in the early game.
Definitely, and we do see that Blessed Shield being picked up by Joanna. We do see Maelstrom being picked up by Kerrigan, Divine Shield by Uther, Water Elemental by Jaina, and Devouring Maw, of course, by Zagara. You don't really see anything else picked up by Zagara unless they're trying something really wonky. But, I mean, that being said, they're all pretty standard picks here. Glad to see Blessed Shield being picked up just more often than Falling Sword, because Falling Sword is one of those. Yes, it's cool, and yes, it can be used as an initiation, but it's just really, really slow.
The next phase for the Dragon Knight is going to be up here in about 10 seconds, and Bella and the Beast is going to have their heroics offline, or online rather, not offline. And it looks like, what are they going to be going with? They're going to be going with, excuse me, the web wrap on Anubarak. So going with a little bit more displacement in these team fights. And then otherwise, pretty standard stuff across the boards. Tyrael going with the Judgment. Malfurion with Tranquility, Kilthos with Phoenix, and now that I think about it and look at it a little bit more, I like the web wrap because they already have good damage and good initiation with Ethereal Judgment. It's just going to complement the Judgment even more so because you're going to stun someone out and blow someone up, single target burst, and at the same time, able to web wrap, take someone out of the match.
And we do see another free Dragon Knight going the way of Goon Squad. They have to be more on top of this. Berserk taking a lot of damage is going to get taken out relatively quickly by the combination of Joanna and Goku.
All right, so he just went completely in there. Malfurion getting taken out. This mid fort is dead to rights. Maybe not a gravity last turnaround. Onto Boss Watch. He's got to be careful. Using his combat trait to keep himself alive, followed by a protective shield. A Devouring Maw onto the Kael'thas. Lost Viking boat being popped. And this might be the turnaround they're looking for. There's a Judgment onto Goku. He's still alive somehow, but finally he goes down. There's the web wrap. And now the turnaround onto Boss Floss with his Unstoppable being on cooldown. And now the body blocks going down on to get up. No, he is able to slip through the cracks. Anubrak going down, though. A little bit of a sloppy play coming out of there. He could have gotten away cleanly. But still a exchange that favored them. And even with that favorable exchange, they still are down about a level and a half. 13 talent tier advantage going the way of Goon Squad. Still have a Dragon Knight. Their eyes are still in this fort.
And that's most likely going to happen, too. They have... oh, actually, I take that back. They probably won't. Tiger JK just ran out, and he's out of position. This could be very, very bad for him, but he's able to gather with using that sprint that he was just able to pick up, hitting that level 13. So, but at that being said, I mean, they have a lot of damage that was being done down here in the bottom lane. Yeah. That fort is almost completely destroyed. Like, one more hit and that thing is gone. As well as that mid lane. Mid lane's in quite a bit of trouble. Base drop being targeted by Kerrigan here. Not going to be able to get taken out, but he's able to get out there. Goes back in, trying to keep them from taking that Bruiser, or Siege Golem camp. My bad. Flame Strike going down, takes quite a bit of damage. Webweaver going down on top of, it looks like Uther, and a lot of people taking quite a bit of damage. It looks like Kerrigan and Joanna both being taken out here. Get Up is going to get out of there as well. Divine Shield being used on top of Tiger JK.
Base drop went in there, and he didn't have enough mana to do anything else. He just Eldruin's Mites in there and kind of stood there, and ended up getting taken out. But they're able to secure these Siege Overs, get 2 kills as well. This bottom lane is now under a lot of pressure. Malfurion's pretty low on mana. They almost have level 13. Level 13 is a very important talent here for Malfurion. He went with the improved regrowth at level 7, so his heals are even more effective than they were before. And now going with the defensive option at level 13. Anubrak going with the Burning Rage, bringing a little bit more AoE damage to the table. Tyrael going with Imposing Will, which is such a strong ability. Imposing Will is so underutilized sometimes. Hosting the top lane might actually get solo ganked here. He's got to be careful. Base drop using the Judgment, but a great Devouring Maw is going to secure his getaway.
And he is able to get out there with the skin of his teeth. Like, he is, like, any more damage, and would have been taken out pretty easily. Right now, I'm surprised to see Goon Squad still ahead of the game by an entire level. They lost that fight pretty handily. I mean, they did an excellent job going in there and limiting both Kerrigan and Joanna during that engagement, but they are still pretty far behind. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, we did have the Zagara actually up in that top lane gaining experience the entire time. And they also had 2 Dragon Knights. So, I take that back. I do suppose that they are pretty far ahead to begin with, but those kills didn't do as much as I thought they did.
The 3rd Dragon Knight phase coming up. And I don't know how many times that they can sneak a Dragon Knight up from the nose of Belle and the Beauty. Or Belle and the Beast. Depends on which one you want, the Beast or the Beauty. You decide. Anyways. But they got to be more careful about it, because the Dragon Knight scales exponentially and gets much stronger as we get into the late game. Kerrigan going in there, a beautiful combination onto the Lost Vikings, but they immediately go to the safety of their ship, and they are laying down the law with that boat, and it's doing so much damage, but actually Kael'thas gets taken off in the background. Kerrigan's so very low, Divine Shield's on cooldown, this is going to be the turnaround effect, and Kerrigan does get taken out. That mid-game strength displaying itself right there, and even at a 2-level, now 1-level disadvantage, Bella and the Beast were able to turn that team fight around. But there's a 3-for-2 exchange. Anubrak is so very low. Base drop doesn't care, though. He's going to burrow charge in there and secure the kill on his Zagar. Now, Get Up is getting body blocked. He might be getting taken out here. He's going to cleanse himself to get away. So, yeah, the Lost Vikings got taken out. A 3-for-4 exchange, 4 takedowns for the advantage of Bella and the Beauty/Beast. Even with that, they still took a team fight. That's impressive.
It really is. And I mean, even though Kael'thas was taken out relatively quickly, that Phoenix still was able to do its job and do enough damage to the rest of the team to be able to swing that fight in their favor. The Lost Vikings, like we were saying, that second health bar, man, it's always been super, super powerful. And this is the strength of the Lost Vikings here. We do see one of the Vikings taking that Dragon Knight. Now, they still have two other Vikings that can go to either lane and soak experience while they're fighting in that mid lane.
Yeah.
They have to defend this dragon, otherwise they're going to lose that mid keep.
And this is a stronger Dragon Knight that they finally able to get one, but the most important of the match as far as I'm concerned. And now with level 16, the Kael'thas is a go. Level 16 is such a pivotal talent for him, and it just really turns his damage up. Brings the heat to the match. In middle, under siege here, Dragon Knight is just melting those towers away. And they are slowly but surely, narrowing the gap with the experience here. Goku going in there with the initiation, but a beautiful stun from the Anubrak immediately turns it around. There's a Divine Shield being used. They need to get this guy down. Can they get him? No, the Devouring Maw actually completely takes the initiation out. A little bit of a miscommunication, but they are able to get themselves back into the fight with another beautiful combination from the Kerrigan. Goku has been on point with these D. Base drop is low. 3 have gone down thus far. The Lost Viking ship is there, but rough seeds ahead for them as they're going to get stunned up and blown up by Tiger JK's Jaina. And that is an exchange they were looking for. Their mid game was looking a little weak, as the past couple of team fights really haven't gone very well for them. But Goku, with 2 solid initiations, able to turn that team fight around. Now they are going to counter push into the mid lane and see if they can get a keep out of this.
Now, if some people were paying attention, you saw that Tiger JK was sitting in this bush right here. Sitting in this bush right here, waiting for the correct time to go in there and eliminate the Kael'thas precisely at the right time. And he did just that. Right as he was able to come out, Kael'thas wasted his Phoenix on top of Jaina rather than the rest of the team, which probably would have swung the fight into their favor.
Yeah.
But the Phoenix was wasted at that point. Jaina went in and just completely erased Kael'thas, got him out of the game, was like, okay, guys, you guys are good. Don't worry about the Kael'thas damage. I got this. Go in and win that fight. And that's exactly what happened.
So well done by them. They have got themselves back into this match. It wasn't looking too good for them. They were able to get those tier 2 towers in the mid lane, and now they are closer and closer to that coveted level 20 Storm talent advantage. They picked up the neutral Bruiser camp in the bottom lane, going to get themselves a Siege Ogre as well. And top lane is pushed in fairly well in their favor. Mid lane is right on that line of scrimmage. And picking up those mercenary camps forced Bella and the Beast/Beauty to rotate down to the bottom lane. The next Dragon phase, they are coming quick, man. No time for these teams right now. Goku's got to be careful. There's a Divine Shield. Used it a little bit prematurely. Goku's really got to get a lot of value out of this Divine Shield, or it could just get turned around on Web Wrap using the back line. Devouring Maw onto 2, and the initiation onto Jaina. The Nubrak and the Tyrael showing its strength, and this is looking... Actually, no, they're so clumped up. They got to be careful. They're against a Kael'thas. So much damage being laid down 2 for 2. Right now, this team fight could go anyone's way. It's anyone's team fight to take. Nubrak with a beautiful stun, but he goes down as well. His last dying efforts gets a kill of 3 for 3. Kael'thas versus the Uther. Who is going to take it out? Looks like they're just going to exchange blows and say, you know what? That was a great team fight, as even can get. But Goon Squad now are so very close to the level 20 heroic talents, the Storm talents, rather. They can get themselves a Dragon Knight and possibly get the first keep of the game.
Now, the funny thing was is that they were actually waiting for Tiger JK to come around, swing around back, and try to take out Kael'thas. So they were waiting for Tiger JK to come down there, and the second that he did, he was completely erased at the precise moment that he came around that corner. They were not letting him take out that Kael'thas because they need him to win those fights. If they don't have Kael'thas, what's the point? I mean, he is their highest damage dealer right now. They need him to stay alive at any point during those engagements.
All right, so what are we going to see out of these teams? This is just kind of a moment where both teams are licking their wounds after that team fight, going, holy cow, that was exhausting. So the Bruiser camp being picked up for Goon Squad. Neither of them really committing too hard to the shrines. And now the Storm Talents are here for Beauty and the Bella, or Bella and the Beauty. You decide. Kael'thas going with the Bolt of the Storm. Excellent. So now the thing about Bolt of the Storm is Judgment on Tyrael has... Judgment on Tyrael has a little bit of a cast time and an animation. So with Kerrigan having Bolt of the Storm, Jaina and Zagara all having it, as long as they're quick on their toes, they can actually bolt away and completely negate the initiation for the Judgment. And those are the 3 heroes that are going to be targeted, especially that Jaina. So that's a very, very important talent here, and now they have more tools to deal with the initiation.
Be really, really careful here because any team fight means a dragon. Like, one of these teams here is going to get a Dragon Knight if they engage at the wrong time. So they need to make sure that they're able to win this. It's imperative that they don't engage at the wrong moment here. And it looks like Dredge is going to be doing a little pokey. Tyrael going on to the Jaina here on the side. Tiger JK using Bolt of the Storm to get out of there. A new bracket's taking quite a bit of damage. He's going to be taken out if he's not too careful. He's able to stay alive with the shields and the heals from his team. But it looks like Bossfloss is going to be taking quite a bit of damage. His Invincible goes off, and he's able to get out of there in a matter of seconds and stay alive. No kills going down in that engagement. So, with that being said, that was what they needed to have happen. They still have Water Elemental up. Goku going in for that engagement. Gets quite a bit of damage goes down on top of him. He's in a very bad position now, but he's going back into the fight. Malfurion using his Ice Block. Man, a lot of stuff is going on here. Base Drop going back into the fight. Goku taking quite a bit. Does go down. A new Brat goes down as well. And it looks like Joanna is going to go down. Base Drop going down as well. Tiger JK is going to take out Kael'thas before he dies, and the Vikings are still up. Hosty and Get Up are still alive, so the Lost Vikings are able to at least attempt to prevent a Dragon Knight from being taken, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do that. It looks like Hosty is going to be able to grab this Dragon Knight at 18 minutes with everyone down for 40 seconds.
And meanwhile, while that whole team fight was going on, top lane was pushing in with that Bruiser camp. They're able to get right before that team fight went down. So now top keep is susceptible to be taken out by this Dragon Knight. Mid keep, obviously, already susceptible. And with this advantage that you're talking about, I mean, it's not a huge one because they have 3 team members of themselves down. But this late game Dragon Knight does so much damage. I mean, look at them chunk away at it. They're going to get this mid keep. They possibly can get 2 keeps off of this. And then it's going to put so much pressure into the mid and top lane. It's really going to constrict Bella inside of their base, and that's never a situation you want to be on.
Something they got to really be careful about because the new bracket is just spawning, as is Malfurion, and Kael'thas and Tyrael are both going to come up as well. They have to just back out. They got the 4th they keep they needed to. They had those catapults spawning down that mid lane. They have that additional pressure. They can back out and do it again. Like we said earlier, this is a game of inches. You need to take the advantages you can and just back out. Do not be too greedy. There are times where you can and you can actually pull out a win when it's a core dive, but aside from that, it's really, really dangerous to do anything like that.
So now, with everyone up on the battleground once again, the march continues. The Dragon Knight's going to be up in 15 seconds. Initiation on a base drop. Can he be able to get away? There is the follow-through with it. Maelstrom being used by Goku, but not able to secure the takedown onto the Tyrael. So now Maelstrom is on cooldown. That's a really important cooldown anytime you're a late-game Kerrigan, because it gives you a little bit of survivability, gives you that extra oomph that you need to secure a takedown. And knowing that Maelstrom is down, this might be an opportunity for Bella to possibly get themselves a little bit more momentum.
Get those Merc camps. You need to start pushing pressure down those lanes. It looks like they're going for that top left Merc camp, the Bruiser camp, trying to push more pressure onto that top lane. See how much health that has. Actually, one of the towers is almost down, but that keep is still alive, full health. And they're going for the siege camp on the bottom left there.
They got to be careful. They're clumped up a little bit. They're clumped and they're disconnected. Goku taking full advantage of that. Initiation onto Dredge, but they can't get the kill. Phoenix is completely zoning it out. Web wrap as well, and this is go time for that Abella. Dredge Bro charges in, immediately rewinds, and gets the hell out of dodge. Jaina goes down in the backline. She was way out of position, and the Kael'thas was able to punish it accordingly. Base drop is really low. Can they get a kill on him? They are able to get a kill on him, so a 1-for-1 exchange thus far, but Uther is dead to rights. Lost Viking ship ends, but they're able to turn it around nonetheless. And this is going to be bottom keep going down with those Siege Ogres pushing. And they might be keeping their eyes on this core here, D, as with the Kerrigan being down, the Uther being down, this is an opportunity for them to seal this game.
I completely think that they may just go for core here at any point. They have the Phoenix down for zoning. They can go and do a little bit more damage, take down the shield. If anything, they can take the shield, do a little bit of damage, and back out. They're not in too bad of a position here. Jaina's not up for another 20 seconds, so it could be really detrimental. Get up, taking quite a bit of damage, being resurrected by his level 20 augment. He has to get out of there. Malfurion gets taken out pretty quickly. Dredge in quite a bit of trouble. Bellamorte taking quite a lot of damage. Has to get out of those Vikings. They're not going to be able to end this game this second. But Dredge is in a lot of trouble here. Can he get out of there? And it looks like they're going to be able to get out of there with that stun on the Hosty.
Yeah, without your Malfurion sustaining you to keep up, that core push unfortunately just ain't going to happen. But they still have a little bit of a power play here to get some wiggle room onto the map, get themselves a shrine in the bottom lane, And with the Lost Vikings factor coming into account here, they have the potential of being in all 3 places at the same time, though I highly doubt that Goon Squad is going to allow that to happen because a 22-minute Dragon Knight is so very strong, and both these teams' cores are exposed, with Bella's core being open through the mid lane and Goon Squad's core being open through both the middle and the bottom lane. So this is still anyone's game, but I still think Bella has a firm grip on it. Oh no, base drop gets caught out of position. And that is not what they needed to happen. This is a great window of opportunity for Goon Squad.
It really is. I mean, they have their core down in 53%. They have those shields on there, but they have to be really, really careful. Any misstep can mean that they're going to lose this game. Dredge gets taken out really quickly.
Man.
He's completely out of position. Rewind was not up at the time, and he was not able to burrow charge out. Now is the time Goon Squad needs. They need to go for that core. They need to try to end. But it looks like on the other side of Bella and the Beast, they're going for the core as well. It could be anyone's game at this point. Who knows? Let's see.
It's going to be close, 60% on the side of Bella, and I think they simply have the push right now with more team members up. They are going to be able to get it with 32% remaining on their core. A nail biter at the end. Very well played.